Hi, Richard. How are you?
Couldn't be better. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much for your time and joining us today. I've been telling our community a little bit about your background being a co-founder of Oanda, and I always like to start at the beginning. What was your journey like coming into the trading industry and developing Oanda? And you and I and everyone else involved in this industry has seen the changes, limited choices for U.S. citizens, Americans in the FX market, since there was a baton death march of brokers leaving the U.S. because of not wanting to deal with all the compliance issues. Why don't you tell us about your journey a little bit, Richard, before we get to Leica?
Kind of very simple. My passion is to kind of make financial markets as seamless and efficient as, kind of nature. When you look out in nature, isn't it marvelous how kind of when you see a small child, how it grows and kind of and can go through any type of crisis? Whereas if you see financial markets, costs are high, markets are disruptive, and I was always passionate about creating a marketplace which is seamless. And that was the mandate of Oanda, creating a seamless marketplace. So this is why we introduced second-by-second interest rate payment, offered a service where from $1 to 1 million, everyone gets the same price. So where there's no price discrimination.
Okay, so you leveled the playing field for smaller investors along with huge institutions, and that was very democratic of Oanda.
Exactly, and this is the kind of mission of Oanda still today. But what I'm planning to go beyond that to a next level.
Okay, and why don't we start with Leica? And from what I've observed, you're a believer in a grassroots movement, and this is going to be, we're going to need grassroots movement as governments begin to lose credibility. It's going to be back to we the people, isn't it, Richard?
Yes, coming from Switzerland, we're very much aware that it's the people that count. So the issue is the following. We're all aware that the internet has has been a huge movement of democracy around the world because it has made possible for anyone around the world to publish his content on the web. So if you have a holiday home, you can publish its existence on the web. And that created a lot of new business opportunity. But if we turn to financial markets, their entry barriers are very high. So the dream of Leica is to create a global marketplace equivalent to the internet itself, where everyone has immediate access and can buy and sell the instruments which he wants.
Okay, so I would say that the only downside of this democratization would probably come from floor traders who have been displaced, and now all the exchanges look like bowling alleys to me. I went back to Chicago, was very surprised a year or so ago how empty the pits are. So we've all had to reinvent ourselves, Richard. So you're going to reinvent a platform to accomplish these goals. Can you tell us what the foundation is? My thought from researching this interview is that the foundation of it is Bitcoin. Am I correct in the reading of it?
Yes, this is correct, but it's not Bitcoin, the story which everyone talks about, that is, there'll be this one currency which kind of becomes a global standard. Not at all. It's the blockchain technology which underlies Bitcoin. And so far too little has been explained about it, what that really is. The underlying technology is like a global notary service which keeps track of transactions, of who owns what. And our plan is to use this underlying infrastructure as the kind of base for this marketplace. And that makes this marketplace very efficient because transactions can be settled and delivered within 10 minutes. And there is not a time delay as we're familiar with existing markets where we give an order in milliseconds, but then physical settlement takes 2 or more days longer.
I would say the longest transaction time of any investment that's popular for global citizens would be real estate. You know what a long process that is, and I think you use the example of a metaphor that Bitcoin replaces a notary. Are people going to be able to do land exchanges on this platform too?
Eventually, yes.
Okay, now that would be an accomplishment because of what a rigorous process it is to buy a piece of property, at least here in the U.S.
The same here in Europe. But what we need is we need the same thing, a rigorous process which can happen instantaneously. And if you kind of think of your email messages, or even now our conversation over the internet, I mean, this is marvelous technology. Why not have the same sophistication in the marketplace that we want to use?
Well, I would guess that there are vested interests that would like to keep things the way they are, the status quo. And technology has definitely been disruptive. Can you disrupt major institutions, or are they going to embrace, can you see them embracing this?
It's I think we observe today a bifurcation. The top bosses very much understand that change is just absolutely necessary. Now, within an organization, there is a lot of fear, because when things are reorganized, some people lose out, and so there is internal resistance. But I believe when people suddenly understand the potential of the new technology to foster growth and new opportunities for financial markets, that then suddenly people will embrace it. So in this respect, the initiative, what we're doing, is a grassroots movement, but something to be embraced by the financial industry.
How do you get old dinosaurs like me to feel comfortable with having a larger portion of their net worth as an internet transaction in something that you cannot see, touch, or feel, or withdraw like cash? And it seems like this experiment with cryptocurrencies would be embraced by governments that want to eliminate and make this a cashless society. So isn't there an also bit of a Orwellian taint to cryptocurrency, so that you eliminate the underground economy or people's personal freedoms by being able to track every transaction, which is what they're doing anyway now?
It's very interesting. So you have, as with any new technology, there are all these false perceptions, which actually will prove to be incorrect. So
I'm sure I am, Richard.
So it's
teaching old dogs new tricks, right? So I'm interested in how you make people from my generation feel comfortable with this new wave.
I remember my mother saying, "Oh, I'll never use a mobile phone." And when it's easy enough, you immediately use it, and cost efficient enough. And the same thing here as well. The ease of use, the cost efficiency, and finally, the lower risk. So it is not a political issue, it's just an issue of efficiency and safety. So you will discover over time, we're not there yet, we're now assembling the team to build all this, that the new thing is so much easier. And you have to when we started Oanda, we faced the same problem. People, when I first proposed the idea for Oanda, people said, "Oh, that's strange, I would never trust you." But that was not the case. Because we could settle any transaction of any size, people would try out our service and send us $100. After 1 week, I says, "Could you please return the $100?" We immediately returned it, and that created confidence. So
confidence,
the same thing will happen.
Trust only happens with time.
Exactly.
So you're bringing in people, kind of a new wave of building a company, asking people to bring their intellectual capabilities to the table, and having people contribute to this. So a very open format to develop this. How's that search going, and were you surprised by how many people were interested in participating in Leica?
Uh, the reason why I'm doing is, kind of, it's like four eyes see more than two eyes. So the
Yes.
more people you have involved, the better. The
Right.
second is we need to be a very low cost operation. So we have to source on a global scale and get people to compete with each other for the best contribution. The third is I have been baffled in terms of the quality of contributions and quality of people, popping up.
Yeah,
It's just great.
a pleasant surprise. So, like any project, your heart has to be in it. I could tell that your heart is in it, your mind and your soul is, and moving on to a new challenge. We always need new dreams, don't we, Richard? And like you
Yes.
mentioned in your dream, this is something. Do you have any type of goal in mind for a launch, or how long this might take before you have some type of platform beginning and launch?
The kind of clear goal is end of second quarter to go live
Wow.
of
Okay.
next year.
Okay.
So, it's clear deadlines, short deadlines, just focus the mind, force us to make sure that we are focusing on the essentials.
And this will not be like FX brokers that, in America now we only have about 4 choices as far as FX brokers. This is going to be global, and
Yep.
anyone in the globe, there'll be no compliance issues for people in America to use this platform.
It's you're raising a very important issue. So just to explain to you the architecture. So we're familiar today with the concept cloud. So basically what we are is a marketplace which is like a cloud. And depending on the regulatory setting, people will sign up like through an internet provider. When they sign up to the internet through an internet provider, you'll sign up to our marketplace through a local regulated entity. And
I see. So you'll have many partners in different places on the globe to be representing you as branches, or how would you
yes,
describe them?
just white label relationship, making sure that they can, kind of join us and be the regulatory wrapper for that local region.
Okay. What a great idea. Anything else you want to share with us, Richard? I appreciate your time today.
I think the reason why we have this sense of urgency is kind of looking at the global economic scenario of what's happening in the world.
Yeah, and you're right. There are many countries, like I've interviewed people, where people don't even have access to banks in certain countries around the globe. In Nigeria, a lot of people are cash and carry. They don't have bank accounts. So this is going to level the playing field for people that do not have access to financial institutions. Is that one of your aims?
Yes, that is true. There is an additional issue as well. That is, the current markets are illiquid, and we have to improve the quality of the markets. For an exchange market, if you look at euro dollar, dollar yen, they don't have sufficient liquidity.
And what
So,
do you have an idea how this happened? Is it open outcry that changed it? Is it Dodd-Frank that changed it? Because the Treasury market, for my days in Chicago, there was barely a pip between bid and offer. What has changed in our markets, and what is the root cause of illiquidity setting into so many different asset classes nowadays?
this is a very important question which you're asking.
That's my job.
So what has happened is we have moved. Originally, outcry market was an old-fashioned market. You saw each other, etc., and it had evolved over a long period of time.
It was fun.
Yes, but today we have introduced technology, and we have made some subtle changes to the old setup without understanding that these subtle changes might have a profound impact. So
Yes.
today, it's kind of building a market is an engineering discipline. It's like the chemical engineer who has to build a factory which does not explode because it has to process explosive gases. So, but if you look at the kind of the finance industry, the academic area, they are not yet approaching it with this very scientific mindset. So there is a lack of know-how, and this is what I have been focusing on. I have been all my life spending time trying to understand the mechanics of markets, and like our new marketplace will leverage that know-how.
I tell you what, Richard, I wish you manifestation of your dream. I look forward to the launch. I'd like to white label with you guys and learn more, just being in touch with a visionary like you. And I'd like to wrap it with the Rolling Stones had a song, "Hey You, Get Off of My Cloud." I say, hey you, get onto Richard Olsen's cloud and check out the new wave coming in the financial markets.
Great fun. Thanks very much.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Richard. I look forward to seeing your new idea become reality.
Thanks very much, and thanks for the good wishes. Thanks. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Richard Olsen. The website is www.lykke.com. That's lykke.com. Hope everyone enjoyed it. We have something very interesting to look forward to. You can't fight change. You may as well embrace it.